Today we're tackling a massive question. Can high-speed finance, an industry that absolutely devours data and energy, ever actually be green? Well, a brand new framework says not only is it possible, it might actually be better in every way. Let's dive in.
So here's the fundamental problem, right? The entire global financial system needs unbelievable amounts of computing power to function, but that power comes with a serious environmental price tag. For years, the whole game was just about being faster, faster, faster. But do we really have to choose between a healthy market and a healthy planet? And I mean, the scale of this is just staggering. We're talking trillions of transactions every single day. Every single one of them has to be processed, checked, and stored. And the old school systems that do this, they were built for one thing and one thing only: raw speed. Sustainability, it wasn't even on the radar. And that has created a huge and, frankly, growing energy footprint. Okay, so this all sets up a classic showdown. It's a tale of two systems, really. We're going to compare the old energy-guzzling way of doing things with a totally new approach that was designed from the very beginning to be both fast and sustainable. So on one side, you've got your traditional system. It's rigid, it's resource-heavy, and it's obsessed with just raw performance. But on the other side, we have our challenger, the Sustainable Data Mining Framework, or SDMF for short. And its goal is completely different. It's trying to find that perfect sweet spot between performance, accuracy, and energy use, proving you don't actually have to pick one over the other. So, how in the world does it work? Well, at its heart, the SDMF is this cloud-native system that's built on 4 really smart, energy-aware layers. They all work together to handle financial data in a completely new way. So let's kind of peel back those layers and see what's inside. The whole process is just brilliantly logical. First up, the ingestion layer just drinks from the fire hose of financial data. Second, the processing layer gets to work and crunches all those numbers. Third, all that data gets stored in a distributed system so you can get to it fast. And then, finally, layer 4, this is where the real magic happens. You've got an AI that handles compliance, all while the system is actively monitoring and tuning its own energy use in real time. Now, of course, a cool new framework is just an idea until you really put it through its paces. And that's exactly what researchers did. They put the SDMF head-to-head against a traditional system and threw a massive workload at both of them. 1.2 million real-world financial transactions. We're talking everything from stock trades to foreign exchange payments. And the results were just wow. The sustainable framework didn't just edge out a win. It was a total knockout. It pulled off what the paper calls a triple win. Get this, it was faster, it was way more energy efficient, and this is a big one for finance, it was more accurate at finding problems. Let's dig into that first win, speed. Just look at this chart. As you throw more and more transactions at it, as the volume goes up, the SDMF's performance advantage actually grows. You can see the traditional system starting to buckle under the pressure, but the sustainable one, it just scales up beautifully. It proves it can handle the heat of a real-world market. Okay, now for the green part. The energy savings here are just as impressive. This chart shows you everything. CPU usage, down over 20%. The actual power being consumed, slashed by 1/3. The energy needed to keep the whole thing cool, also down by 1/3. And the carbon emissions for each transaction, down by almost 35%. I mean, these are massive, massive cuts across the entire board.
Let's just hang on that number for a second. A 33% drop in power consumption. In an industry that uses just unbelievable amounts of power, a change like this, if you scaled it up globally, would have a monumental impact on the entire sector's carbon footprint. This is not a small tweak. This is a game changer.
And that brings us to the final piece of that triple win, accuracy. This chart is all about how well each system spots compliance problems. Just look at the green line. That's the SDMF. It's consistently rock solid, over 94% accurate no matter the market. Now look at the traditional system in red. It's not only less accurate, it's all over the place.
So this all leads to this really fascinating question, right? How on earth did making a system more energy efficient also make it faster? It feels like it should be the other way around. But the answer isn't about just throwing more power at the problem, it's about being smarter. So a huge part of the secret sauce is this really clever 2-stage AI model. Instead of using maximum processing power on every single transaction, it's way more efficient. Think of stage one like a quick airport security scan. A fast, lightweight AI checks everything and just flags anything that looks even a little bit suspicious. Only those flagged items move on to stage two, where a much more powerful AI does a deep, expert-level investigation. This simple idea saves a ton of wasted energy. But that's smart AI. That's only part of the story. Designing for energy efficiency created this chain reaction of other benefits. By running cooler, the system cut down on something called thermal throttling. That's when your computer chips slow themselves down to avoid overheating by 47%. It also organized data smarter for faster access and got rid of a bunch of wasted CPU cycles. It turns out being efficient is being fast.
So what's the bottom line here? When you look past all the performance charts, the real-world impact for the financial industry can actually be measured in cold, hard cash.
For your typical financial institution, that 33% energy saving we talked about translates directly into an estimated $2.8 million a year in savings on infrastructure cost alone. Now that's a pretty powerful reason to go green.
And it gets even better. Remember how much more accurate the framework was? Well, that means fewer regulatory mistakes and fewer of those really expensive fines. The paper estimates this could save a company another $4.1 million every year. So you add it all up, and going green isn't just an environmental decision, it's a massive financial win. The study's author, Phaneendra Yerra, really just sums it all up perfectly. This research proves that sustainability and high performance aren't enemies. They're not a trade-off. They can and they should exist together, which opens the door for a financial system that's both open and honest and good for the planet. And that really brings us to the most important takeaway of all. This isn't just about finance. The core ideas here, designing for energy awareness, using smart, efficient AI, these can be used in any industry that's drowning in data. So the real question is, if we can build a financial system that's faster, cheaper, more accurate, and better for the planet, what's stopping us from redesigning everything else?